Okay, not bad. We've got it threaded. We were able to make this aluminum block, drilled on the drill press so that it was nice and perpendicular holes to the faces of this block. Then we bolted up the right side to the head and the left side. We did have to clock this thing and adjust it, but we were able to get it to a point where it controlled our drill bit on the left-hand side to re-drill that hole in the right location. It'd be nice to have 3 or more holes so that you have 2 to completely index a block like this, but we have this stud glued in that I am waffling on whether or not I'm going to leave. That was going to be in the way again. And just other things like the spark plug and whatever. So we didn't. This worked out just fine. I used Cobalt steel drill bits. I have a cool bit cooler, they call it, from Drill America. You can get all kinds of types of drill bits from them, but I got a bit cooler full of, it's a full fractional index of Cobalt steel, and that's for abrasives and stainless steel and hardened and stuff like that. It's a brittle, I don't want to say it's along the lines of carbide because it's not, but it's in the way that carbide's brittle yet very sharp and tough. Cobalt steel is also very sharp, but I don't use these on everything. I'll just use an ordinary high-speed steel drill bit index. But for cast iron, I used Cobalt steel. I think that's the ticket because despite having the guide block on there and a nice big battery drill, any hand drill, whatever it was that you were trying to use, I had to lay my whole body weight into this thing to get some chips to come out. And I was checking to make sure the chips that I was seeing were cast iron and ferrous with my magnets. Here they are, and not just chiseling away or grinding off the side of the hole in the aluminum. I wanted to make sure that they were ferrous, so I was checking that. And ultimately, I got right down to the bottom. Where's my light? Got right down to the bottom in there. I don't know if you can see it, but that fisheye lens on there, but I got a hole right to the bottom. And then I threw the tap that they supply from Helicoil. Here's my helicoil kit. Here's the tap that they sent me. Here's my helicoils. And remember, again, the inside of the helicoil is 3/8/16, or it's whatever thread for your application. The tap that they send you is to tap a hole for the outside of the helicoil. So they send this along. This is a regular, ordinary tap. There's another special name for it I can't think of right now. But you can see you don't start cutting threads till you're about 1 diameter from the end, which is to say whatever size you're using. That's as far as you are from the end. That's the last complete thread. Then you can see they kind of taper away. So if you're going through a material, you go until you're all the way through and out the other side, then you back up. If you have a hole with a bottom, you need a bottoming tap. Taps are hard, and you can cut the end of it off short when you're through getting this far to make a bottoming tap, but you have your work cut out for you. I just as soon, I went and bought from Fastenal a helicoil tap for a bottoming a hole, and you can see the complete threads go nearly to the end. It was $4.50 or something, less than $5. But this is the helicoil tap for 3/8/16 helicoils. I don't think it's called out by the actual thread. And I don't know if the actual thread is an actual machine thread. I think it might be specific to helicoil. I'm not sure. Reasonable cost. I have a Fastenal brick and mortar near me. Ran and grabbed it, went farther than the initial threads that I cut. The last few, another 1/4 of an inch or so I was able to cut until I felt the bottom of the hole. Then I backed that out, all the time using some cutting fluid. And then I blasted it with brake cleaner, whatever you want, shop solvent, anything that'll get rid of all of the slippery lubricants, and gave it like a shot of shop air. And this whole time I've had something packed into the exhaust port so I'm not losing debris and stuff down in there that could be abrasive and tear my motor apart after all this hard work. Now I have a fully threaded hole. I can take the supplied helicoil installation tool, which has just got a little ledge on the end of it that you come around with the helicoil and it stops against that straight section. You can see that straight section has a notch in it so that it can be broken off if you have to stack several of these up in a deep hole. Every new one you send in, you can reach down in the hole with a flat ended punch and break that little guy off, and then you send another one down in there and break him off, so then in the end you have one homogeneous threaded repair threaded hole. And you dig those guys out once again with a magnet. Just make sure to get all the little pieces out. Here's a flat-ended punch for 1/4-20 helicoil, which I had. There's the installation tool. That's a smaller size. And here's the flat-ended punch I'll use in this application to break those little pigtails off once they're all in there. And I'll put them in with Loctite just so that they're sort of one and the same with the heads, and it'll be just the screw, the bolt fastener that goes into them that in theory in the future when you turn him out of there, it'll just be him that kind of comes out of there, which I hope never to be involved with this situation again, and I hope that it just doesn't leak and make an annoying noise. And it was leaking in this spot before. You just get a little on top of the nice V8 rumble, and it was all black carbon here from exhaust gases spilling out. So we opted for the $30-some Jegs copper gasket, which was really disappointment with the fitment. I had to open up all the holes a bit and cut the hook ends off of that's a hook end there. I cut this one off just to get it to fit up and look right, which it still doesn't look great. But I can't believe, I don't know why it sticks out to the amount that it sticks out. I guess it's hard to see down here. It just doesn't look professionally laid out and finished, considering the original equipment replacement gaskets that came with the manifolds I purchased. This is what they give you to use, and they come right with the manifold if you buy one, and if you just buy this gasket, it's like $2. So when I spend 15 times as much, this one fits perfectly, by the way. So when I spend 15 times as much for a performance part like this out of a semi-precious metal, I guess I just feel like it should fit as well, or as good as, which it doesn't. I guess I'm coming from Subaru and just kind of disappointed with the Ford big block of the second half of the 20th century, so I guess that's all par for the course. This is how you use a helicoil to save yourself buying an entire new cast iron head for your engine. All right, we'll see you.